Really?
Kidding.
All the things you could say, that's how you're going to open this.
Little yucky joke, you know, it's me.
Either way, welcome to Top Rope Spoilers with On the Ring Apron. We are sister subsidiary of Mania Club and Champions of Hope. So, first of all, this feed looks very choppy, so I may try to do something with that in a second. We also have a neon WWE light, but it doesn't come through well, apparently, on this.
I think because you have the two lights going.
No, it was already like this beforehand. I don't know if turning it off. Up.
There it is.
It's better.
Look at that. It even has a little glow up factor. I actually might like that better.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway,
There's my
okay. I didn't know if we were maybe choppy on their end, but, you know, we're a little delayed. Either way, we're here to talk about Vengeance Day. You know, that's the, I guess it's now officially, it's a WWE premium live event now. They are not distinguishing now between WWE and NXT. So you'll notice now the NXT logo is nowhere to be found over there on the Vengeance Day logo. So kind of some new territory as they try to slowly build NXT into being truly a third brand of WWE instead of just making it its own entity.
That's good.
You see the scoreboard at the bottom, the OTRAs, getting a little bit further ahead. Unfortunately with that, it's Kia that ultimately is the one who made the big jump. A 10-point Royal Rumble gets her right back in it. She's still in last, but is definitely cut the gap down.
He did not. He didn't have to do that. It's already a struggle.
It's okay.
It's
okay.
Would you like to do it?
No.
Since this is so easy.
No, you know.
Either way, but you can see there's only 4 points separating first from last, and with only a handful of premium live events left this year, it truly belongs to anyone with some opportunities to be able to make it here. But a chance for the NXT roster for the first time this calendar year to show what they can do. So, ladies, anything to open with prior to getting into it?
Not much, really. I
Well,
mean,
so,
this looks like it's about to be fun. I mean, it's got some good matches.
You have no clue what matches there are. This is what happens. This is what happens when they.
Turn off. Yeah, excuse us.
Wait, what?
Excuse us 1 second. We missed.
The ankle I can't already feel.
Anyway, sorry.
Either way, we are going to move through this though rather quickly. You
We're
know,
tired.
you can tell fatigue has kicked in with all of us. They did a double today.
Yeah.
I'm taking on new responsibilities in my position, so with respects, it's a tough life for us. We're making plenty of cheddar, so you know TME is going to continue to be a thing, but we're always going to find time for this.
She's singing It's a Hard Knock Life. My God.
Pretty sure we'll get sued for that. Don't do that.
She didn't sing it out
I
loud.
didn't sing it out loud. It was just...
Hey, that's a good sounding camera right there. So let's not do that. For those of you who have never joined us before, though, you do have the ability to be able to place in your votes if you go all the way to the very bottom there, and it'll stay on throughout. We do have our link to the Morty. You know that you can be able to go to our YouTube community page. Where you can be able to place in your votes. That is part of the OTRA vote. It does become official. There we go. It becomes official once the match officially begins. So, you know, still some time to vote. And a lot of close ones so far through the initial, you know, first couple of hours because they went live earlier this morning.
Okay.
All right, everybody, 10 toes down. We got to move here a little bit, so.
Yeah. So dramatic.
Well, if there's no other way for me to do things, then I have to, you know, I have to be dramatic. That's what I end up needing to do. But officially, as of the time of this recording, there are 6 matches officially on the Vengeance Day card. We're going to open with what has turned into a very heated and intense rivalry where possibly a career could be on the line in this particular match if things go a certain way. You know, within storyline, of course, hopefully. As the bouncy one, Javon Evans, will return back to NXT for the first time in an official match in the year 2025. He will be taking on the person who officially broke and forced his jaw to be wired, and also former NXT champion in All Ego, Ethan Page. Page has been on a new sense of heel ever since he lost his championship and his rematch to Trick Williams, that he is determined to say, I belong here, I am not going to be overlooked, and anyone who chooses to, I'm going to just make it to where they're never going to be a problem again. And the first person that he targeted was Cedric Alexander. Ultimately was released by NXT and WWE earlier this week as part of the slew of releases that we're seeing. You know, it happens every year.
I don't even know why you bring him back just to release him.
Well, he's got a contract to finish up, so, you know, I mean, I understand. It's just paperwork or, you know, settings. But then also, you know, you're wanting to help build up your next big name. Javon Evans in storyline, a jaw wired shut. You know, he's bid on a few blood packets and whatnot, you know, to sell it. But also, based on storyline, has signed a hold harmless agreement against NXT in order to be able to be medically cleared for this match when being told that his career could possibly come to an end if his jaw was to get popped in the right place. Obviously, a giant bullseye will be on his lower jaw in this particular match. But ladies, your thoughts on Javon? Is he, you know, perhaps putting a little too much on the line, allowing his anger to become a little bit too much in this situation for someone so young? And also, is this the most dangerous we've seen of Paige up to this point?
I was about to say, I definitely agree that this is the most dangerous we've seen of him here. When it comes to Javon, I mean, you can only put up with so much disrespect.
Right.
Especially as somebody who's younger, like, you're only going to be able to kick me so many times, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go get you.
Not me, though. I don't have a good ankle, so not me. She can kick me as many times as she needs to.
I mean, I kind of get it from Javon's perspective. I mean, you're not going to keep on coming over here, running your mouth,
bumping your gums,
bumping your gums, and
I mean, I get
talking to me like I'm crazy. Like, no, I'm gonna go get my lick back. So I feel like it is kind of dangerous that he signed that stuff, and it is really dangerous that he's going in like knowing that that's somewhere that he can really hurt him. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, you got to handle business sometimes. So hey.
He needs to go talk to Andrade. He needs to get that mask he comes out with before the start of his matches.
That is true.
Kia, your thoughts?
Honestly, with all respect, Ethan Page has not been one of my favorite people to actually watch, but...
So was there really respect with that?
It was more...
That's a phrase.
I'm tired of you calling me out. You about to get your look back, too, if you keep trying me. No, with all that's going to be said... I've seen heels over the last decade or so, however many years I've been watching, and he's at his game. He's at the top of his game. He's like the worst. He's dangerous. We thought he was dangerous before when he came in.
Well,
yeah,
he was dangerous at running his mouth.
Right, but now it's not just he's running his mouth.
No diss tracks on this one.
No, he's not. He's not just running his mouth. He's letting his actions show. Hey.
He's about that life.
My title was taken from me, and I tried to redefend it to get it back, and that's not working. And y'all, I feel like y'all are disrespecting me, and y'all are not pushing me to where I need to be. So at this point, I'm just going to show you what's going to happen. Javon, on the other hand, like I told Alyssa, I'm going to need, it's going to have to work like this. And I'm going to say it with all love in the world. I'm going to need him to talk to past Kanye West to figure out how he could actually work with keeping the jaw wired shut, because Kanye West had this issue, so I feel like they need to talk, and he needs to figure out, you know...
She is pulling out the rap and R&B history on this one.
Right, I mean... But, like, Javon, if he can direct his anger the way he needs to and don't get emotional or over-emotional when it comes to this match, I feel he'll be fine with...
I worry we're past that stage, though.
I mean, like, he keeps asking. He signed a release, and at this point, Ava said no. She tried to warn you. There's only so much she can do besides saying, "Hey, I'm going to fire you." And even if that was the case, he's still going to come back. He's going to want to have this fight anyway. So it's best you go ahead and say yes. Let him sign the paperwork so there's no blood on your hands, and let them literally duke it out, fight it out. It's going to be what it's going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Is Ethan Hill going to break another ceiling and take it another level higher? Is he going to upgrade? What's he going to do at this point?
And that's definitely the viewpoint, because I'm all about, you know, young talent trying to, you know, get their name out there and get their, you know, get their rep, get their, you know, pay their dues, if you will. But the problem is, in this particular circumstance, if Javon doesn't work this right, you're against a person who has already not just done the deed, but has proven he'll do it without any second thought or malice to his, you know, to his methods. He's out to do whatever it takes to become champion again, and that means the first line is destroying all the up-and-comers that are going to stop him from being in that main event picture for a while, with Javon Evans being the first in line. Let's move officially to the picks. As we said, the Community page is down there in the link below. If you're in our chat or watching this later on YouTube, there's still going to be time all the way up until the match starts. I currently have the lead, so that means I go first. As much as, the fuel is there and the want is going to be present, I'm actually going to take Ethan Page in this match. I think we're seeing a side of Page that is dangerous. We're seeing a side of Page that I think WWE and NXT wanted when they signed him over from TNA. Javon is going to be able to get off to a very fast start. He's going to ride his emotions. Eventually, though, experience is going to win out, and I do feel like there is too big of a bullseye on that jaw for a young Javon against a very, very seasoned veteran in that of Ethan Page. So I'm actually going to take all ego in this one. Alyssa?
It's like on one side, like I wouldn't sign paperwork unless I'm completely confident in myself.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna put my career on the line. On the other side, you got this man operating on a different level in his solar system, his little ego.
His little world.
Yeah. So it's like, which one do I take? This is head and heart right here.
Well, there we go. Now we got that out of the way.
Right.
She has to say it once. We're putting it on a t-shirt.
Anyway.
Along with her.
Not too much on me. They almost want to fight tonight. That's what they want. Off camera. In all seriousness, I'm gonna go Javon. I wouldn't put my career on the line if I wasn't confident in myself.
I don't
Yeah,
think,
you
it's,
can
so,
only- you can
I don't
only
think it's
talk.
so much about winning the match, though.
I'm saying you can only lick on me so many times.
So, Javon
I'm
officially.
saying Javon. Yeah.
Okay.
If he can put his anger, all that anger in the right direction to go up against this whoever this is, then I feel like it's
Good.
Ethan Page. I know who he is, but if he could work that anger in the right direction, there wouldn't be a reason, like Alyssa said, he signed paperwork, so he's got to be confident in his abilities. Also, at the same time, you can also talk in the back to someone who's faced Ethan Page. Trick Williams might have some pointers he could give you. I feel like, with all respect, I'm gonna pick Javon. It's just like you. I can tell you, if it's me, and you kicked me while I was down, you better hope my ass stays down.
Now, if we're looking at the picks here, and I'm going to take about a half step this way. There's no reasoning other than wrestling related that
Shut up, Steve.
led
Get
our
back
picks,
over here.
right?
Let's go. You're playing games. Anyway,
Either way,
I would be in the middle. Don't do too much.
that's it. But let's make sure we show that pretty ass thing back there. I'm going to try to find another spot to put that because, as you saw at the very beginning, it's like a neon light and stuff. It looks really, really cool. The camera, unfortunately, does not do it justice. So, we'll try to see if we can find a way to be able to incorporate that in. But let's move to match 2. So this little thing will shift down here in a moment, and we are moving into our first of what is, I believe, 3 championship matches on the card. And this one is for the NXT Tag Team titles. Just got announced last night, or 2 nights ago, excuse me, on NXT, as we will see Axiom, who right now, has established themselves as the top tag team in NXT and has been for a while with a few slips here and there. Oh my lord, that thing's...
Take Cassius to the potty.
It's time for the little one to go to the bathroom.
This is a reminder.
Girl, we got
Take
you the
Cassius
first
to the
time.
potty.
Well, hey, she's going to get a cameo every single time. She did the countdown things for us at Royal Rumble, and now she's getting a shout out.
If you
But
want to be in the show, just say it.
you want to snag the older one real quick, Kia, and I'll do the intro for this one real fast. Yeah, that's not going to help. But either way, Axiom essentially putting together the top of the tag team run. They've had a small slip against Chase U. Obviously we saw what the end result of that was, and now they've won back their championships. But they do face a challenge that they've yet to take on before, as they will take on the new team of Yoshida Inamura and Josh Briggs. Now, Briggs, of course, formerly with his brother Jensen, who is now joined up with Sean Spears' group. So he went over to Japan, representing WWE and NXT a few months ago. He ended up meeting Inamura, and ultimately he may have ate with him, but did not eat him.
I was about to say that.
Word trouble, it's been a long day.
It's all right.
But ultimately, the two of them have formed a very good bond and have turned themselves into a good tag team in what is ultimately only going to be Inamura's 3rd match in NXT. He gets a chance to win his first gold. It only took 3 matches for Motor City Machine Guns to win gold.
Oh, I hate with that. Hold up.
To get it, so maybe we see a repeat here in NXT, but the team of Fraxium is moving on a different level, so we'll see if that's something that manages to play itself out. Y'all are scooting way off to the side, so that's why I was giving y'all a little more room. But ladies, take it from here.
I'm glad to see that Fraxium's back on the same page, actually kind of in the same book. Because for the longest time, it was like Nathan was kind of doing his own. He was a tag team competitor, but he was like acting like an individual person on his own, whatever, doing what he felt like was best for him instead of the team. But it's good to see that they're both on the same page. Hopefully, it'll stay like that. Now, when it comes to Briggs, we've seen him previously with. He's not, this is not new for him to be a part of a tag team stable, so he should be used to this. It's a different partner, so, and like you said, he went over and he picked him out, or like not picked him out, but he wrestled against him, and then they came back and now they're a tag team. So let's hope that works in his favor. So.
Well, definitely a different look in this particular situation. He brings a sumo background into. WWE, which is something that, while not unprecedented, I mean, we've seen people, Hall of Famers like Yokozuna, Rikishi in his early days, so the sumo, mentality in professional wrestling is not a completely lost cause, but it has been a while since we've seen anyone who brings that type of style to things. So a lot of these guys, especially some of the ones that have been wrestling in the UK, such as Frazer, are likely very unfamiliar with this particular type of style, which could play to Inamura's and Briggs' advantage.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I watched Briggs and Inamura last night on... Was that last night?
2 nights.
The night before.
I know, the days of the week are throwing me off too.
Okay? It's been a long week, okay? Calm down. No, I watched them. They seemed pretty cohesive for 2 people that, competed against each other.
We've only known each other a couple months.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, it's not like an established team, but also they worked really well together, and the only thing you have to do to become established at that stage is just wrestle together. So, I mean, Axiom and Frazer had to start somewhere, so I feel like.
Well, remember their entire rivalry started with them having like a 3 out of 5, rivalry against each other.
I don't think experience. As partners will be as big of a thing here. I think Inamura, sorry, couldn't think of that. It was evading me. I think his different style in wrestling itself will definitely show itself. Because I was watching him the other day, I was like, why is he throwing him around like that? And I was like, you know what, Alyssa, mind your business. Because if you ask questions, you might mess around and find out.
You do.
So I was just like, let me just mind my business. But I mean, it was interesting to see a different style. So
it definitely adds
add a different layer.
It definitely adds a new twist and gives you something new to watch out for when you're out there. Because Inamura is going to do something that, I mean, you don't see it in women's wrestling. So you're not going to see people like Asuka or Io Sky out there hitting sumo maneuvers. But it definitely brings a different mentality to what you're going to see in the wrestling ring. Moving to the picks, though, again, this is officially for the NXT tag titles. Alyssa, you'd be up first on this one.
For this one, I'm going to kind of stick to what I know. Axiom and Frazer, again, are cohesive. When they are a cohesive group and they are both focused on the same goal and they are both locked in on that same goal, they are a force to be reckoned with. And I think even with a new style and new team being formed, I don't think it'll be enough. So I'm going to go with Axiom and Frazer retain.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to, again, I'm going to have to go with the opposite pick of what Alyssa said. I'm going to go with Briggs and how do you pronounce his name? Inamura. Because they seem like they're pretty cohesive for them only knowing each other for a couple of months. And again, it is a different fighting style. And, I feel like it's going to work. Again, we've seen tag teams who had to learn how to work together that really didn't like each other work before.
Cesaro and Sheamus is the immediate one that comes to mind. The two couldn't stand each other.
But then they worked it out. They're good, and they pretty much rode that train until they couldn't ride it no more. Yeah. So I feel like this will be the same thing.
So you think this will be one of those where because it's new, you catch them before they have a chance to learn it.
Right.
It's kind of like a new a sports athlete coming in, and it takes time for you to get film on them and figure them out.
Exactly. I mean,
I like it.
unless you've done your homework and you've done your research on Inamura, it's not like you really know what he's about to pull out until he gets in the ring and he's fighting you.
Yeah, well, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth,
That
or in
is
this
true.
case, hip tossed in the mouth, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Fraxium. Again, this is nothing against a shot against either Briggs or Inamura. They look like a fun team, but I just don't think you can outlast experience. Fraxium has proven, even in defeat sometimes, that they can be at their best when the lights are on the brightest. They have absolutely brought shine and prestige back to the tag team division in a way that we really haven't seen probably since the Ciampa Gargano days. Which is going back a little ways. No disrespect to the champions we had, but you remember when we had those runs, and then you had times with like American Alpha, DIY, and the Revival,
Right.
going way back to maybe more black and gold NXT days.
Mm-hmm.
The tag team division is as hot as it's been, and there are a lot of people wanting to run for it, but there is one team that's head and shoulders above everyone else. That's currently Fraxium, and I think there are teams on the main roster that I think they could go up against and have relatively good success. So we'll see what happens, but I am going to take Frazer and Axiom to retain. Again, still time to put in your votes unless you're watching this after Vengeance Day, in which case
Thank
you're
you,
only
but also why?
watching this to find out where we got it wrong. It's kind
That's
of
kind of evil. I don't like
strange.
it. Don't do that.
Why are you doing that?
Mm.
Whatever's happening here,
Just knock it off.
knock it off. Anyways, let's move to match 3. So we'll see the little thingy down below. Move again. And here is our second sorry, there's going to be 4 championship matches, so my apologies on that. This one is for the Women's North American Championship, as we will see the current North American Women's Champion holder of Fatal Influence, and that is Fallon Henley, finally getting her first run as a singles champion within NXT. But she will battle her toughest test as champion, and maybe her toughest test as an NXT competitor up to this point, as she takes on our resident NXT Dark Angel in Stephanie Vaquer. Now Vaquer, of course, coming up with Guilia and with Zarya as, kind of the new big 3, and is the first to earn a shot. Do I even want to ask?
It's Kendrick.
It's Kendrick Lamar reference. And Drake reference.
We all, how far did we get? 23 minutes
Calm
without making a
down.
Kendrick Lamar reference.
Calm
I was wondering,
down.
if I have to hear that song one more time.
It wasn't even about that. It was a different one.
It was
Very
different.
well.
It was a different
Yeah.
song.
Either way, Vaquer has stepped in very similar to Guilia, and has absolutely, set her tone in terms of her being, deserving of being up near the top. She was ranked inside the top 10 for the last several years, despite working on the independent scene, New Japan, a little bit of time in AEW, but now here she is in NXT, and immediately getting put into the title picture, very similar to the way Guilia has gotten herself into the NXT Championship picture. I do believe that, you look at someone like Vaquer and say, okay, we understand now why she's here, but Fatal Influence has definitely stepped up and has, given themselves a position of their own. And the three versus one advantage, especially when you look at someone like Guilia, who's got her own hands full that evening. We'll be talking about her in a little while. This is not going to be an easy run for. This is not just a straight black and white that Vaquer is just going to walk away with. This one with Fatal Influence waiting in the wings.
You have to think about everything that Fallon has been through from the moment she walked through the doors of NXT all the way up to now. She's done everything she's been asked.
She runs a hell of a bar.
She's done everything she's been asked. Every storyline she's done. Every work with every person she could. She was valet to Jensen and Briggs and Jensen.
Briggs and Jensen.
Yeah. So I mean, with all respect, nothing against Vaquer, but how are you going to come to NXT and expect to get this title or take the title or whatever when Fallon has done everything that you've asked her? No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. And some of the stuff that they've had her do has been ridiculous to the utmost. I don't know. I mean, I still gotta see more of Stephanie Vaquer before I actually get on the boat with how she gets down. But it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I don't know.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, I agree with what Kid said about Fallon. You have seen that girl from the beginning, going from just carrying a towel to getting into her own matches. to doing her own thing. She absolutely has earned her title run. Like her prestige there. When it comes to Stephanie, I mean, we saw her in the Rumble. I mean, she did her thing in there, you know. And like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of them just coming in and automatically getting put in the title picture.
Right.
So, I mean, I kind of agree. Like, I do want to see more, but also, how much longer does Fallon need to be a red card? I'm about to say she done everything in there to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on,
And
girl.
let's
do it.
and something that y'all didn't mention, you know, along the way is remember she's been a NXT Women's Tag Champion when the titles were still available. She won them with Kiana James of all people.
Right, right.
You know, the two of them couldn't stand each other, yet found a way to win tag team gold.
And that's the one
Ironically, winning the title at this very event 2 years ago. So, you know, that tells you the success that Fallon's had. And Vaquer, you know, I mean, I don't think it's a matter of if but when she's going to win gold. The question is, in what is going to be her first opportunity to win gold, is she going to be able to be ready, knowing that she's going to be walking out there pretty much by herself?
Yeah, I was about to say,
because Fatal Influence is definitely going to be there and is going to make sure she's got her hands full.
I was about to say, they definitely do not give off the vibe that they're going to be fair. Let's keep it $1.20 with you.
And the only reason why the only reason why this whole thing was so, you know, even against Fatal Influence is because for the longest time you had people like Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker, Julia, you know, etc., some other people that were all kind of, you know, battling for this particular championship, but now they've all started bickering with each other, you know, and Julia obviously has gone on to, you know, another storyline, and Vaquer's the one that's kind of standing out in this particular situation. So, you know, this is no gimme. You know,
no, I was about to say,
and I really
both
think
of them can throw down now.
Oh, this one very quietly is going to be a great match that I think is going to get overshadowed because of the card you see. But let's move into the picks though. Kia, you're up first on this one.
Simple. I'm gonna pick Fallon. That's it. There's no more than say, just Fallon.
Fair enough.
That's my pick.
Gotcha. This one was one I went back and forth on for a little bit. You know, I took the time to, you know, think because, you know, paper says Stephanie should go over, but yet all you're doing is continuing to just shovel the burial that is Fatal Influence and everything that they have become since then. If you have her win on her first shot, I do think there's going to be some hook and crook involved, you know, and whatnot, but I'm going to go with Fallon as well. I was tempted to take Vaquer by disqualification, but I think it's going to be one of those underhanded wins, so I do think Fallon wins, albeit, you know, with some dirty work up behind the scenes.
I was about to say, I totally agree. I feel like she'll win, and I feel like it'll just be the first stepping stone to Stephanie getting another shot. And then we'd be more...
Stand and deliver.
Yeah, I was about to say, then we'd be more, okay, well, baby, you've done all that you can do, okay?
And for those of you that are attending WrestleMania, we're doing our best to, you know, to put our pieces together. We put in our media opportunities earlier, so if anybody knows anybody, Stephanie Hardy, you know, yes, hashtag shameless shout out. You know, anything you can do to help us, you know, be able to do it, because we would love to be able to have an opportunity to be able to interview some folks, maybe like Fallon and like Stephanie. Go the other way. There we go. You know, but we're excited for the opportunity to be able to go, but my goodness, these prices are insane.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
like, when the plane ticket is the cheapest thing.
We gonna float there? What we about to do?
Brought some wings.
Swear to God. At this stage.
I'm not swimming. You seen those waters out here,
girl.
Everything's dangerous right now. Let's move to our fourth match. This is our last non-title match.
Whoop, whoop.
And this is one that, you know, a lot of angry feelings and a lot of just mad frustration at one another, as we are going to see Trick Williams, the former NXT champion, battle it out against Eddy Thorpe. And this is going to be a strap match. So,
not one.
Simple.
No.
Hey, I'm staying clear of this one. Okay. Yes, it's we know what month it is, you know, etc. We're just gonna leave it at that. The reality is the two of them have cost each other opportunities to be NXT champion. It was Thorpe that directly was the person who dropped the title, caused Trick to lose the title to Oba in the first place. Eddy also has been trying to kind of weasel his way into a championship match and gave Oba everything he could handle. when he got his opportunity the first time, but came up short. Trick has been waiting for his one-on-one opportunity to take on Oba, but every time you do so, Thorpe has been in the way. So now the two of them are finally going to settle it, with the expectation being that the person who wins this match is likely the number one contender to challenge whoever walks out of this event with the NXT Championship, whether that be Oba, Theory, or Waller. More on that a little bit later. But this is, we talk about, there's going to be one match that's going to steal the show. There's going to be one match that's going to have it all. This one will maybe steal the show, but not because of anything nice. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Oh yeah, this right here, the words that they have been exchanging, the promos that they have been putting on, boy. Oh God.
Means a little more in this one.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, excuse me while I attend my office. Gotta go through and eat it. Look, I can't get in here. Excuse
This
me.
is what I deal with at home every day. See, this is not just for cameras, okay? I want to make sure this is very clear. This is how they act all the time.
We're very tame right now. I was about to say I'm tired.
This is as light as they've gotten all day.
Okay. No. In all seriousness, we're not playing with this man. Anyway, back to the show. Regularly scheduled program.
There was those words we said we weren't going to
Exactly. Didn't we talked about this about 3 minutes ago. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, Eddy has been trying to get his footing together. He's been trying to show that he is a credible threat. Every time you turn around, somebody is in his way. Every time you turn around, he's in somebody else's way. Man, it's been tricked, but we're gonna mind our business. I mean, Trick has done what he's needed to do. He carried the company for a little bit. He passed it off to Oba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he passed it off to Oba. And I mean, honestly, it's like, okay, it's starting to, I feel like for me, it's starting to close in on the fact where it's like, okay, what more does Trick need to do down here?
before he goes to the main roster.
Trick's done it. Trick's done it all at this point.
I mean,
He's done what you need him to do.
you have literally
Made the transformation.
Right, you've had your best friend turn on you, and then he left to go to the main roster. You've dealt with Ethan Page all ego. You teamed up with Joe Hendry. You are going against Thorpe. You've had to deal with Oba. You just had a lot going on. What I mean, it's
Better?
yes.
There we go.
It's what do you need him to do at this point? If this is the last stepping stone before he hits that main roster, the only thing I'm afraid about is if he goes to that main roster and that energy don't go with him, then
I don't think we're worried about that.
The energies is not going to be a problem coming from Trick.
and I think the fans will be fine too. I think it's just
I think he'll be one that's a nice transition over. I don't worry about him.
We've historically said it for a while now that first storyline when you get to the main roster, you've got to get it right.
You've got to nail it.
You've got to nail that first one to build you up. I mean, and there's some very easy places there's very easy places to drop him here, but either way,
But you've seen Thorpe. When I first started watching, he was this mellow, cool. He was learning about his culture and his background and his history. He was like DJing, doing music and everything, and now it's just like you've done a full 180, bro. You're like a full-blown heel, and you went everybody's way, and everybody getting your way, and you're trying to take them out. But at the end of the day, now you're having a strap match and with all people, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. What more? All I'm gonna say, we already know what month it is. We already know where it's.
Let's not get. She's trying to walk a dangerous line here.
You have no room.
I was over here minding my bit like a good steward of the Lord. I was over here just comparing hair notes.
So all I'm gonna say is.
Up for me. Before I whoop you with it.
She's about to whoop this Trick.
Yeah. That Trick about to get whooped on camera.
On camera.
Okay, so with all respect, let's hit the picks. Who we think gonna walk away the victor? Less bloody, less glory, less.
I'm up first.
Yeah.
It's got to be Trick Williams. It's no disrespect to what Eddy has done. He has progressed his character immensely, but this was the end game in terms of what you're trying to build for Eddy Thorpe as a heel. But I think we all know where the end game is going here, and that is going to be Trick getting his last shot at the NXT title at either Roadblock or at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Trick's got to go over in this match, so I'm taking Williams.
I was about to say, I really do think this is going to be closer than we're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eddy is about to come out here and hit him with that strap a couple good times. And I think we're going to be looking like, oh snap, is this really about to happen? And Trick is going to do his little like this.
All of a sudden, we're not
whoop
going
that
to
Trick for
you
real.
him, but
And we're going to start chanting. It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a whole moment. You know, when you start chanting, that little crowd interaction you get to, you be finding a whole new level right there.
Right.
We're going to hit one of those and then bow.
Bow, bow,
Bow,
bow, bow.
In all seriousness stuff, I think Trick is going to win this match, and we're going to go back to the original
Scheduled program.
back to the originally scheduled program.
Kia?
I'm picking Trick. I feel good for him. I can't really say the same for another match that's happening that might start off the show, but I feel good for Trick and him doing his thing, and you know. What?
They can't hear you.
That's probably what she's wanting. But I feel good for Trick. I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked Thorpe when he was a face. This heel thing,
Isn't that kind of the point?
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not supposed to.
I mean, like, I
Well,
don't.
again, you weren't supposed to like Roman for 3 years, and we saw how that turned out.
I mean, just think, I love heels. I do, but I like faces too.
Either way, let's keep moving on. But we got Trick across the board. Sorry, no animosity on this one. Let's move into the second to last match of the evening for the NXT Women's Championship, and what we're now going to call is the Shucky Meowie Cat match, because I can't take Booker's line, but I refuse to. But either way, what was originally supposed to be a one-on-one, that has become a triple threat, that has now become a fatal four-way with everybody seemingly having their reasons as to why they want to be a part of this match, but also, you know, a couple of friendships currently in question, a couple of alliances maybe not working out as nicely as could be done. But we'll see how it all pans out. It's every woman for herself as Guilia defends the NXT Women's Championship in the four-way match against two former champions in Roxanne, Perez, and Bayley, although we got to go back a little ways to get to Bayley's NXT run, and also getting her first championship match since returning from injury in Cora Jade. Now, Jade and Roxanne, on again, off again, friends, frenemies, enemies, you know, whatever you want to call it, it seems like Cora has been very clear-cut, like, look, I'm going to be the one who's going to be stepping up, and Roxanne, I think, still has this impression that Cora is going to be in her corner when the moment comes, and I'm not getting that vibe at all. Guilia has stepped in and has proven that she can do what she can do by dethroning the nearly year-long run of Roxanne Perez, because Roxanne had her first shot to win the championship back for the second time at this very event last year. And then, of course, you bring in the veteran leadership that is Bayley, who basically, if it exists, she's done it by this point. She's won Royal Rumble. She's won Money in the Bank. She's won every singles championship that exists. She's won the tag titles a couple of times. So, you know, first ballot Hall of Fame already secured, but at this stage, she's coming back to try to not only, you know, see the future that's coming up behind her, but also try to make a little bit of her own history as well. It's also interesting because you have two people in this match in Bayley and Roxanne that are also going to be competing in the Elimination Chamber with a chance to take on either Rhea Ripley or Tiffany Stratton in the main event of WrestleMania. So, you know, you wonder if, you know, one of them is potentially trying to bite off a little more than they can chew, but also the possibility that someone could be walking out of WrestleMania a double champion. Just saying it's possible. Somebody, take the wheel.
So I'm gonna say this is the first real ringer that I have liked. All the other ones that came before it looked either hit as hell or they didn't look like they were worth the.
That's what's going on her T-shirt.
They didn't look like it was worth. But these four women right here, this render looked really, really, really good. So let me go ahead and put that out there. Roxanne, she's a very unique taste. She's a very not unique taste, but she's very unique. And you either like her or you don't. She doesn't care either way. She's going to do what she's going to do. I mean, she's the prodigy for a reason. But now you've got your best friend or frenemy or enemy or, you know, whoever, however you want to see Cora Jade. She's come back from injuries. She.
Keep going.
Okay, all right. So, okay, that conversation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, the way I view it is Cora Jade's come back, she's doing her thing.
It's not a game.
She's come back, she's done her thing. And then you look at someone like Julia, or how do you pronounce her name? Julia, who literally has come in. She literally has, I'd say, walked right in, told people what she was gonna do, did it, and took the title. She did. I mean,
half English.
Right. She's got just enough to get what she needs to say across.
Roxanne.
And then Bayley.
Kick your ass.
Bayley has done everything from start to finish. I remember watching her in her hugger days and feel like, I'm not feeling this one. But this Bayley right here.
How about Roxanne and her hugger outfit this last Tuesday? Talk
And-
about some
and-
vibes there.
And Bayley noticed that, in case y'all hadn't noticed. They didn't notice. But I like the fact that these 4 women are going to go up against each other, and they're going to hopefully put on a good match and make it what it is. Now, it's interesting. I don't know if this is correct or not. Someone correct me. Don't you find it interesting, and y'all might have to go back and do the research, you know, going through social media and everything. Bayley has been around for a little bit, that she's had a picture with each and every person in this match.
I saw that. You showed me the other day.
Yeah, she's had, like, if you go back from Blast of the Past, Bayley has had a picture with each and every one of these ladies right here. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, they talk about, you when you come into something like this, you eventually battle your idols. You know, the people that
That's why I said
wanted you
talk about you.
Right.
You want the people you wanted to do it, and you see the fine line of succession, because everybody knows of the infamous photo of AJ Lee, you know, taking pictures not only with CM Punk, who of course she's now married to, but also her taking pictures with people like Bayley and others as they were, you know, working their way up. And then now the roles are reversed, and now the role person is now the role model, you know, for the younger generation that comes in. And there are people that are wrestling in this match, likely all 3 of them, that saw Bayley as a dream match, you know,
Right.
but somebody that figured, oh, even if I ever make it, will I ever get to be in a story with her? So what a moment, you know,
For all of them.
storylines out of play, you know, what great matches. And ultimately it doesn't look like, at least at the minimum, at least Roxanne's done with Bayley for a while, because you've already seen, you know, the seeds starting to get planted with the Royal Rumble elimination. Both of them likely going to be in the chamber, so, you know, you might be staring down Roxanne maybe making a debut at Mania against Bayley.
Well, I feel like, I mean, that'd be a good thing, because she did really well at the Rumble. I mean, lasting for an hour?
Yeah,
She has the record now, an hour 7:40, I think.
I mean, you can't really be mad
Ironically,
at
breaking Bayley's record.
that. Right.
Right. So she just got shut up.
So that's it. But let's move to the official picks again. It's first pin takes it. Alyssa, you would be up first on this one.
I feel like Roxanne and Cora are just going to be in each other's way. I feel like I honestly feel like Roxanne is just going to beef with Cora and Bayley, because they do
beef
have...
with everyone.
Yeah, but I'm saying I feel like she's going to get distracted by Cora and Bayley, because she has other outside beefs, and she only wants to get at Julia because she has the title.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think Roxanne has done all the title work she needs to do down here. I honestly think, with all the interference and the inner beefs and everything, I think it'll be Julia. I think it's going to be a lot going on in this match, but I feel like you don't get to be where you are outside of NXT, and then coming in, you don't get that decorated without being smart. So I feel like Julia will retain.
Okay.
Again,
I love Bayley though.
right.
Yeah. Go girl.
I feel like in this match, it's going to be interesting to see all these women go for the throat or whatever. Roxanne, like you said, and I'm going to kind of segue off what Alyssa said, Roxanne has beef with everyone, and everyone has beef with Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Sound like E over here.
Wax on!
But,
Parkour!
That's us tomorrow. Roxanne.
but like you said, Roxanne has put her feet in her mouth, or she doesn't really have much room. Cora has gotten her number, and you know, Roxanne's sitting here trying to backtrack, backpedal, but now you've got You've got Bayley, who's come in, who's got Roxanne's number, and now you think this is probably a good match for Bayley. Bayley's probably used to all the interference and all the stuff that's going to happen and take place. She's been around for a minute, so it's not like she hasn't seen everything and then you have to think she plans for stuff like this. Julia has come in, like I said, she literally walked right in, did her little thing, pose, whatever. But now that title's hers, she's not giving that title up. And Cora. I like Cora, I really do.
Cora coming. I just don't think
it's not right now, and the way I view it, if this match was to end, I feel like you can go ahead and send Roxanne to the main roster, send her back with Bayley, and let them beef up there on one of the brands. So, in my opinion, Julia will be the one that retains this title.
And I can see them two going at each other
Once this is done, I can. So, it's going to be, my pick is Julia. Long-winded way, I know, if you're seeing me now.
Well, I mean, it was a little long-winded, but that's okay. I mean, hey, it's your pick. You can do whatever you like. There's a lot of times where, I want to take that, that long shot pick. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly cut to the chase. My shirt does not reflect my pick. I do not believe that with main title aspirations and storylines that neither Bayley nor Roxanne Perez are winning this match because they don't need to. They already are getting main roster, level of publicity and main level types of thing. So that brings you down to Julia and Cora Jade, which you would think that, being inserted last, but also having a pinfall victory over Bayley, of all people, in this, you wonder if Cora's maybe the weak link in all of this. But honestly, if there has been a single person inside of that women's locker room that has proven that she can be able to kind of move through all the chaos and can move through all of the women, arguing with each other, stabbing each other in the back or in the front in some instances, a la CM Punk, it's been Cora Jade. And, you can see Roxanne still kind of questioning whether Cora's loyalty is with her or not. I don't think Cora's laid any thoughts at all in terms of exactly where she's at. She is going in there for herself to try to win the championship. And as much as, I tend to kind of stay on the straight and narrow and everyone else, I'm going to take the swerve on this one because I think if you're ever going to pull the carpet out, it's right before now and it's right before Stand and Deliver because then you can give someone that big moment that maybe needs to step in, whether that is Julia again, whether that's Vaquer, whether you give Cora and Roxanne that one-on-one that they've been wanting for a championship but lost for a couple of years because of Cora's injuries. I'm taking Cora Jade to win this match. I'm not sure if she pins Roxanne. I will say, at least for the record, she won't pin Julia to win it, which opens the door for Julia to get her rematch. But I'm going to call the upset here and go with the long shot dark horse on this one. I'm taking Cora Jade to win the title.
Okay.
So we'll see if that pans out. We're early enough, Still got a few PLEs left, so, I'm not burning too much of a bridge if I get this one wrong. But we'll see what happens. But let's move into our main event. One that this is where now it's Kia's turn to smile for a little while because I've been grinning at Roxanne and whatnot. So no comment.
Yeah,
but
it's our
a
turn
triple
to smile because you forgot Alyssa loves her some Ola.
That's it. Hey,
somebody big old man.
No comment.
I'm just kidding.
Lying tonight. Jeez. Good grief. Triple threat match for the got a little something right there. Triple threat match for the NXT Championship. Oba, on NXT, basically stating straight up, this is a handicap match, but we've seen this.
Yeah. Right now.
We've seen this story before. They ran a similar story a few years ago. Whenever the two of you are done. They're not done.
I'm done.
She may not be.
I'm done.
Either way, when Roxanne was champion and then you had members of Toxic Attraction that were, battling for the championship. And ultimately, Oba knows he's in for a fight because you're going up not just against two, established stars, but also two main roster competitors who have won gold at the top level together. So they can work together as a team, but now when you're going for individual gold, Oba's best chance is going to be to keep A-Town Down Under separated But then also, when it comes down to it, are Waller and Theory going to be able to get to the stage where if one of them gets a chance to win the championship, are they willing to put that team, that friendship, that alliance and unity on the line when it comes to singles gold? Because I do feel like the two of them together can match Oba, together, but they will not be able to do it by themselves.
I was about to say, I definitely see the same vibe in this match that I saw in the match before. I feel like they'll work together at first, then it's going to come down to that tough decision. Boom, they'll lose sight of what's really important, and then whoever will be able to capitalize on the opportunity. I feel like they work very well together as a tag team. That's great. But it's different right now. And as you could see them in their promo on Tuesday where they were going back and forth. They were like, okay, yeah, I'm going to push you. Oh, you're going to push me. Oh, I'm going to push you. Oh, you're going to push me. Then, oh, we can work together to take care of it. Oh, you want to get pushed
Yeah,
too?
I would like to
Okay,
be involved
you
in
can
this
get
as well.
pushed too.
There we go. Now I've been pushed.
No, but like you can see where they teased and flirted with, okay, we can work together, but when it's time for us to make the decision, like I feel like part of it was them acting and trying to get like Oba, like the little satisfaction that he was trying to get them to argue, but I also feel like part of it is, will they really be able to make the decision when it's time?
How many times, and y'all understand, y'all know how much I love A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory.
Does love A-Town Down Under.
I really do. I'll pull for them any
Shoot.
day of the week. Yeah, I got that on video. No, I'm just saying, you have to think how many digs, and let's just say over the last, like, not this year, but last year that Grayson made digs at Austin Theory, and Austin, as pretty as he is not dumb. He heard and saw what was happening. Okay, and so anyway, we look at it like Grayson has taken digs after dig after dig, and right now we see they're just joking, but in all actuality, there's got to be a little hint of truth in what Grayson is saying. There's got to be a little hint of truth in what Austin is saying, and will this be the moment that Grayson turns? We're expecting a heel turn. We expected it to be Austin, but in all respects, it might be Waller. Either way, Oba's got that satisfaction. Oba is going into it, but how's it going to play out? What is going to be the end game? Are they going to work together? One lays down, takes the pin, and like whatever, and then like.
Thank you. I'm glad one of you said it.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, I get it, but I can't be the only wrestling fan out there. And I mean, I don't care what brand you watch, Again, this isn't just a WWE thing. This is professional wrestling altogether.
Right.
If the two of you are a team, who gives a as long as one of you walks out with it, throw Oba through a table, and then one of you go in there and pin the other.
Oh, no, they went back and forth too much.
I'm aware of that, ego. But at the end of the day, it's like, you can be champion. And then you can let the other guy pin you, and then, you can be champion.
Right.
And I get that you don't want to win it that way, but at the same time, like, you're in the history books at that point.
Right.
And also, you can't ignore the fact that possibly something could happen, because remember, even though we've seen this in other storylines before with typically the person who is the champion walking out, we did see them watch them pull a swerve a few years ago when they had Dolph Ziggler, of all people, come in when Ciampa and Braun Breaker were beefing with each other, and they couldn't get along, and Ziggler just kind of, was able to maneuver his way through it and win. And, it gives them a storyline where they could build them up as, you're going to have to beat both of us in order to win, the championship back. So, I mean, a title change is not so far-fetched here in terms of it being possible, unlikely, but possible. I also think that it quietly goes under the radar here. Oba's significantly younger than these two. Don't let the facial hair and the muscly muscles that Grandma is ready to risk it all the biscuits. Yeah, Alyssa about to risk it. There's a significant youth difference between these, between Oba and Theory and Grayson. So, you wonder if maybe you can get him a little bit, on edge in terms of, allowing his youthful ignorance to kind of get the better of him in a match like this. Because the one thing Oba's been able to do in almost every match has been able to use his power to get himself out of situations. So we'll see.
I mean, youthful ignorance. Are we Oba? No, I don't see youthful ignorance. I mean, yeah, he's young for his age, and again, black don't crack. It's going to be what it's going to be. I said what I said. I don't think so. I think Oba's going to come in with a plan. He's tall, he's strong, he's big, and he's faster than people.
Alyssa's already aware of all of this.
Okay, so
To the picks.
I feel like it's going to be what it's going to be. Let's just.
That's in you're up first anyway, so.
Of course I am. I'm gonna have to pick Oba. I know this is like, what's she doing? She's going against her team.
Not as smart.
But this is the head and heart.
The head pick for you.
And, like, you think Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are two sides of my heart for wrestling. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. But in my brain, it's gonna be Oba. I'm not gonna say all day.
This one's simple for me. I'm not a fan of A-Town Down Under at all. I think they have their moments. I think they're funny. And when Theory was having to kind of drag himself back out of the mud, it was nice to kind of see that during the whole Vince Triple H changeover and whatnot. This is an opportunity for Oba to get a win notched in his belt heading into Stand and Deliver as champion. Oba retains.
I was about to say, we're talking about youthful ignorance. We're talking about all of that. He's one of the most focused champions I've seen.
Right.
That man calls his shot. That man says what he gonna do.
And then he does it.
And the one thing he's not gonna do
is cook dinner for
is
you.
cook for you. He will not cook for you.
Get out. Anyway, I do see Oba retaining here. I feel like, yes, they sat there and teased the whole, oh, we're gonna take him out, then we'll do it with each other. Ultimately, I really do think they'll sit there and bicker to the point where he's gonna be like, all right, fine, I'll do it myself, and just get the other one out of the way.
Destroy them both.
Yeah.
Just bump it.
Stack them, pin them. Wait, wrong guy, wrong big guy. But either way, and again, if you're just joining us late, you've missed the whole show. But whatever. But either way, if you're watching this later on YouTube, that's okay. Or any of our social medias, we are available on just about any social media. Just look for @On the Ring Apron. Community page is down below. Alyssa, I already know your final thoughts. I've been seeing it in your eyes for 20 minutes. But either way, if you want to make it brief, send us home.
Like I said, I just have to say my one piece. I did know the matches. Thank you very much.
Proud of you.
But yeah, I did know the matches. So not too much on me from the beginning. Because he was like, you don't even know what matches are on here, and I had to beat him up. Yeah. No, in all seriousness though, this really is a solid card. I mean,
it is.
I don't think you're gonna have one match where you're just like, okay, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Much love to you, but
even if we're at the house. And switch spots with me real quick. I need to be in the middle for this last part. Kia, you have get over here. Anyway, your parting words? Not that.
Hi.
Go ahead, Kia. Parting words?
No, I'm not doing parting words. Alyssa, you can do the parting words.
I already said
Okay, you can say your parting words.
Okay. Well, the main thing I was coming over for, and you ruined it by moving me out of the way.
Oh,
but
no.
Either way, remember also I put a post on Mania Club earlier this week. A lot of you commented on it. We appreciate it. Give love out. Valentine's Day. Yes, it's called Vengeance Day, and yes, it's wrestling and whatnot. But we all are doing this because we have a love of wrestling. But the one thing I've always said is that I enjoy it more because I get to do it with people that I love. I have my wife. I have my bestie. This is wonderful times. I love you both. Wait, no,
No, that was throw up. I'm sorry.
Aww.
Let's be very clear.
Moment ruined. The private ruined it. Either way, show some love to the people that not only love wrestling with you, but also the people who give you the love to care about something that generally just brings so many different types of people together. That's what Mania Club is completely based upon. It's based on people from all backgrounds, all communities, no bias, no of any kind. We love wrestling. So
Honestly, I look at like TikTok all the time, and I see that people's like, I don't have a wrestling family to go to. I don't see people who like wrestling like I do. If you see any of us online, I'm talking about myself, Alyssa, and Steve. We will be your wrestling family. We love talking wrestling. We'll talk it every day of the week.
But we will not cook for you.
I might.
She might.
If I get paid. But it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So with that being said, I'm hungry. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna
roll out.
Yep, and we're gonna call it a night.
Bye.